We came out and played a good second half, but usually against a good football team, playing one good half isn't going to be good enough. But we gave ourselves a chance down the end, and I think we did some good things, but just not enough early on. Listen, I've only been here for a week, but I think these guys in the locker room got a good head on their shoulders, and I'm excited to get to work with them.
It was the role we needed the most. We tried to use Jake, our offense was told. Zach would pretend he played okay. His confidence in him didn't sway. And we don't need another guy. Then we went out and got us a man who showed us that this team has a plan. The second half against Green Bay, Joe Flacco made some plays. His touchdown had amazing zip. Because we have a QB who can get chased the ball, avoid INTs in the pocket, stand tall. He's 40 years old, but I don't really mind. He's giving us hope, and they say love is blind. We have a QB, it feels pretty nice. We lost in week 6, but we added some spice. We have a QB. We have a QB.
Welcome to number 1 Bengals podcast. I'm joined as always by Dr. Hoji Moji, and what beautiful vocals and song. And it's so true. We do have a QB.
Yeah.
And the hater is going to hate, but we do. That's the reality. We have a quarterback. And let me just say, he looked pretty good.
He didn't look bad.
He did not look bad. I mean, he was hitting the receivers, the big-time receivers, Jamar Chase.
Yeah.
I mean, this guy was not being used. Jamar Chase
I mean,
was not. Yeah.
There's two Flaccos, right?
Yeah.
There's the Flacco that was almost out in Cleveland, and the one that Cleveland decided not to use this year, despite early in the season thinking they would start with him. And there is the Joe Flacco that has won a Super Bowl, that has gone from team to team, that has plugged himself into multiple offenses over and over again and shown his professionalism. He is the quintessential, the exemplar vet quarterback. He's a veteran. He's been around. He knows how to lead, and he's exactly what the team needs at this point in time when they're lost and they're struggling for identity.
He was. And I just feel like with his physical abilities, right? I mean, tall guy. He's like 6'6".
Big man.
Big arm.
Classic QB.
Arm.
He stands in the pocket, takes the sack, and in that sense does what Burrow never did. He takes the sack, he throws the ball away. Two things that we wish Burrow would do more. Let's just be honest.
Let's not get carried
away. I know our Lord and Savior Joe Burrow
listen,
is beyond any reproach or any sort of criticism. But listen, there are things that Joe Flacco did better even than Joe Burrow, and that's okay because Joe Burrow is still a better quarterback. Who cares?
I want to say Joe Flacco on that 2-point conversion where he kind of escaped pressure. And I mean, that was beautiful. That was beautiful. And people are saying he's old. He doesn't look old to me.
No.
And let me just remind people how big time Joe Flacco is, because I'm going to have to share the tweets. If you go look up my tweets about Joe Flacco, go look them up. They're all positive, and they all talk about the fact that was clutch and big at the biggest moments. From 2010 to 2014, Joe Flacco was amazing in the postseason. Every year he had like a 3-to-1 touchdown to interception ratio. He was just amazing.
Amazing.
But
it don't get no. Listen, this was a big good decision by the Bengals front office, and we criticized them a lot, Daddy-O, you and I.
Well,
we got to give them praise where praise is due, credit where credit is due, and they made a good choice with Flacco. Flacco was probably the best choice, better than the other choices that people had. Like what was the one they were saying from the Giants? Everyone was saying
Jameis Winston.
Yeah, I mean what? You need someone proven and true, and that's what they did.
So I just want to say, I think it was last week or the week before, I said, and you agreed, that if you give up a 6th-round pick for a guy that can keep the season alive until Joe Burrow comes back, it's worth it.
It's worth it.
And they did basically that. They gave up a fifth-round pick, but they got back a sixth round. So it's kind of like half of a fifth rounder, you know.
Yeah.
But look, you know it was a good trade when Mike Tomlin, the head coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers, who are about to face
smartest man in football, I'd say.
You know, to be honest, it was shocking to me. Andrew Berry must be a lot smarter than me or us, because it doesn't make sense to me to trade a quarterback that you think enough of to make your opening day starter to a division opponent that's hurting in that area. But that's just my personal feelings.
That is the most amount of salt I've ever seen from Mike Tomlin. I mean, what a baby.
Well, you could look at it that way. But I think what he's saying, and it's really true, is why don't the Browns care? I mean, why are they okay with making the Bengals that much better? And I think the reasoning and the seasoning behind it is that the Browns know their season is gone.
I don't think so. Look at it like this. They're not going back to Flacco because Flacco's great, but if you just drafted 2 rookie quarterbacks and you're hoping that a 40-year-old can save your season, that's really bad. They have to make the rookies work, right? It's like, you know, it's
but
like
the point is
he
made the Bengals better. The Browns made the Bengals better and their division rivals. So
yeah, they made
why?
the Bengals better. That's true. They did make the Bengals better. But yeah, okay, I agree that they don't think that they are going to be contenders this year.
Yeah.
But I don't think it really impacts the Browns this way or that. But
no, because they're not contenders. I think that's ultimately what makes Mike Tomlin so upset. That it really you shouldn't be able to do this. Were the Browns not so sucky, no other team in their division would help another team in their division this much.
That's true.
Yeah.
All right, so let us get to this week. So
let's get to this week.
Tomorrow, the Cincinnati Bengals are playing
Thursday night,
Steelers
prime time. Everybody in the United States of America who has Prime, which is almost like probably 70% of the U.S. population now has Prime. I just ordered my beard oil from Prime. It's going to get here overnight with the shipping.
You don't have to advertise Prime.
Everybody that's how I get my free subscription. So everybody who has Prime is going to be watching the game. Everybody in the United States of America's eyeballs on Thursday night will be watching our team play their longest living rivals, the people this is the Hatfields and the McCoys. This is like the Soviets versus Ronald Reagan. This is the classic Hulk Hogan Iron Sheik showdown, and it's happening with us in the prime time. And let me just say, it's happening at a time when couldn't be better in one regard too. We talk a lot about Flacco, but let's talk about that defense. Let's talk about how amazing their performance was up against the Packers. That defense has stepped up despite all the criticism they got before the season started. Everybody prognosticating that this team was going to sink because of the defense when it was really the offense that let us down. Yeah. The defense was aggressive, powerful, energetic. And let's also talk about, Daddio, Higgins and Chase, who are really the 2 wings with which Flacco soared in that second half. When he would go to Chase, Chase wouldn't let him down. Some of those catches that Chase did were catches I've never seen someone else do. And then Higgins was when things weren't working with Chase, he would throw to Higgins. That was the dream. Right. That was the dream that the Bengals invested in when they paid millions of dollars to both of them at the same time. Right. So, wow, I'm excited for this game.
Right, and I'm excited about John Gordos, who is the 2-time champion patron of the week, just since we're doing our promotions now.
And when you have a name like John Gordos, right? He's not a gordito. Gordito would be a small gordo. He's the grande gordo. When you have a name like John Gordos, you deserve to be patron of the week. Even if you don't give anything, but John, you gave despite that.
Yes, he did not have to give. Okay, look. Dr. G, I need to get your prediction for this big matchup with Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers and Joe Flacco, combined age of 81 years old. I think that's the oldest QB combination ever. It's amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, they're going to be having to bring the BioFreeze gels to this game. So, okay, so here's the thing. Everybody who knows Hoji knows that Hoji has been an Aaron Rodgers fanboy for a long time. Even when people stopped believing in Aaron Rodgers, I kept the dream alive. In fact, the other day, my stepson said, "Who's your favorite team after the Bengals?" And my heart said, well, it's always been the Aaron Rodgers team. But my brain said, wait a minute, I could never, ever root for the Steelers. That would be giving into the dark side, right?
Right.
So I think that the Aaron Rodgers Steelers is the real deal. I think this is a real team that is truly prepared to go all the way this year. I think this is the team. I think this is the year for them. I think they are a better team right now than the Cincinnati Bengals are with all their problems. And yet, there is something called momentum. There is something called spirit. There is something called passion. I have a feeling the Bengals are going to squeak it out in the fourth quarter. And I am predicting that just like he did last week, and even though they took it away from the poor man, Evan McPherson is going to kick another 70-yarder. You know, he kicked one that year.
A lot of your predictions revolve around kickers. Just pointing that out.
He kicked one. Did you know that?
67, yeah, 67 bounced
And
off
they
the
took it
other.
away from him. They stripped him of his kick.
They froze him.
That would have been, I think, one of the longest ever.
The longest ever.
Yeah. So I think it's going to be by a field goal. I think it's going to be 33-30, and it's going to be the Bengals.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is... Here's the thing, okay? I appreciate that prediction.
At the last minute.
Last minute. So, Joe Flacco looked pretty good against Green Bay. I'm not going to deny it.
Okay.
He was pretty calm. He was hitting the big receivers. But it was a limited playbook because he's only been on the team, not even 2 weeks now. Not even 10 days now.
Yeah.
And he was thrown into one game as the starter. Now, just a few days later, he's going to be starting his second game.
Yeah.
So, as much as I want to believe that Joe Flacco can really light them up, I think that the Bengals are actually going to look like trash. They're going to play like trash. It's going to be just a trash game for the Bengals all around. Yeah.
I'm sorry to hear that.
So, yes. But
what's the score going to be? Yeah.
My prediction for the final score is Bengals 35, Pittsburgh 21.
Hold on, wait a minute. Okay, hold on. Let's back up a little bit because there's a little bit of confusion here.
Yeah.
Okay. You said the Bengals will play like trash, and yet you said they're going to beat the Steelers. 35-21. How do you do the math on that?
Right. So when you look at trash, okay, you see like a fishbone, a banana peel, a candy wrapper.
Right.
It is very varied and colorful.
It is.
Right. And in that same way, the Cincinnati Bengals offense is going to be opened up in Joe Flacco's second game. It's not going to be a limited playbook. He's going to have more freedom. He's going to take better advantage of the defense.
Yeah.
And he's going to look like trash, and they're going to have a great game offensively.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, I love this.
Yeah.
And you know, Daddy, I will say, there's one thing the Bengals can do to win almost every game for the rest of the year, as long as Joe Flacco stays even just moderately good. And that is to improve the running game. I don't know if they can do that.
Good luck.
Yeah, good luck. I mean, I watched those Bears. I don't know if you watched the way they run the ball. And I was so thoroughly impressed. I'm going to keep watching.
They have
them.
the Detroit Lions guy, Ben Johnson, as the head coach now. And a good offensive scheme. People, you can't criticize Chase Brown. You can't. You can't criticize Joe Mixon.
What about P.
You can't criticize anyone. If you're in the bad scheme, the offensive line looks bad, the running back looks bad. Now you're going to say, okay, what do they need to do different? I don't know, but it's not working. Get someone smarter than us who knows how to run the ball, who knows
Get John Sheeran.
Get John Sheeran.
Or Al Golden.
No.
Because he's doing a great job with the defense.
Defense is looking good. I'm happy with the defense.
I love this Al Golden guy.
By the way, Shamar Stewart's going to be back. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, we're going to have some pass rush. And Trey Hendrickson, he might be back. He has the back.
If Trey's back and Shamar's back at the same time, wow.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah.
So, that is really all we have this week.
Yeah, we kept it short. And you know, I would love for people to put in the
Patreon.com. Yeah.
Go to patreon.com. What ideas do you have for the Bengals running game? Put it in the comments.
Put it in the comments.
And subscribe, turn notifications on. Have you given us 5 stars yet in all the different places, including the podcast? We actually are a podcast. You can listen to this while you drive to work.
That's true. It will be up as a podcast very soon. But I want to thank Dr. Moji for this little morning preview of tomorrow's game. And don't forget to subscribe, turn on notifications, and we'll see you next time. So long. This week, bye.